Here's what we saw. Their PR and security teams are strong and very well organized. But oddly, the only claim center for the Pensacola area is about 15 minutes away from these areas that have been impacted by the spill. On a day when BP wanted you to see this, instead, the British oil giant got this.
With BP stock hovering around a 14-year low, one very obvious question: how much lower can it go?
Tony Hayward, a no-show at an oil industry meeting in London.
His stand-in was heckled by angry environmentalists.
Its stock price is at a 13-year low. Its CEO, Tony Hayward, is apparently in hiding, and Hayward's replacement speaker was heckled at a conference on stage. Amidst all this, DP dispatched its top American executive to Pensacola Beach Tuesday to undo what his European counterparts so far have not.
One of the hardest things to do is to actually make sure we're communicating well with people, and you know, we haven't done this anywhere near as well as we should have.
We spent the day touring cleanup sites, safety training locations, and a claims office with Suttles. Despite BP's efforts to put a positive spin on the cleanup, the truth continues to wash on shore. When we first saw them weeks ago, they are definitely more wet.
The longer it stays on the water, the less it looks like oil, and it starts getting more like tar. It actually, the toxicity is now gone. So this isn't going to hurt you sitting in your hand like that.
That's exactly what I was going to ask you. So it's less toxic as it gets more weathered.
Absolutely.
Still, the press is on for BP to win local support.
I was born and raised in Louisiana. I volunteered for this assignment because this is my home.
By installing Darrell Willis to run its claims process and Bob Dudley, a Mississippi native, to run the day-to-day response. Do you think that because you're an American that you understand the situation better?
Well, I grew up along the Gulf Coast, and you know, every country's culture is different, and I think that not only do we have the American culture, we have a culture along the Gulf Coast, and I think it is easier to relate to it if you're from there.
Yet for many, there is still a feeling that after 2 months, BP still hasn't figured out how to relate to affected communities. We've talked to city officials in Pensacola, also all the way to Panama City, and they want to see skimmers off their shoreline. They want to see boom off their shoreline. Do we have enough?
So the answer to that is no, and we're getting more.
What's holding you back, and how do we fix that?
Well, we're getting as much as we can. I mean, just to put a sense of scale on this, we've put over 1,300 miles of boom out. That's unheard of.
And there is new information today about what's coming out of that continuing leak. Dr. Samantha Joy from the University of Georgia tells us the concentrations of methane gas are 1,000,000 times more than what's normal near the well. That reduces the oxygen and risks creating dead zones where things can't live in the Gulf.